It is time, once again, to call out this Star Trek stuff.
Don't give me the Star Trek crap. It's too early in the morning.
Hello everyone, I am still Mecha Random 42, still the one, still the only, still the original, still your favorite YouTube consumer advocate, Harpy, and we have a couple of articles to talk about today, and this just in! I was just in the middle of getting the other video ready with all this. Now I can drop this in the beginning, so watch the rest of this video if you want to know what's up with Star Trek 4, according to all the rumor sites and the official confirmation. Now, we have some new breaking news, so thank you so much for dropping this. This is some Lower Decks news. This is some, now keep in mind, grain of salt, complete 100% rumor. Cannot stress this enough. Not nerds, no! I was trying to find my manual Zoom so I can do this for emphasis. But fine, we'll use that video, because sure, why not? It's funny. Now, 100% grain of salt. I cannot confirm if this is true. I do not know this person. They're just telling me this information via the interwebs. So, they might be a YouTube channel out there trying to troll people. They might be a YouTube channel out there trying to say, I gotcha. Like, what did you get me with? A few thousand views? I mean, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me something to add to my video. And if it's true, thank you so much. Even doubly so. But if you're just trolling me, then thanks again. Now, rumors. Now your Zoom! Here we go. Lower Decks rumors. First off, there's a limit to what I can share, but I do work at the CBS building, according to the source, at 51 West 52nd Street, New York. Anyway, what I want to talk about is the huge failure that Star Trek Lower Decks is shaping up to be. Kurtzman and company pinned their hopes on this being a bridge from the dark tone of the Kelvinverse and the Kelvin-adjacent TV shows, but it's not working. Evidence of this includes the pilot being dumped on YouTube with pretty good numbers, I admit. Oh, well, here's the thing with the YouTube numbers for Lower Decks. That was as an advertisement. I would get the advertisement of the full episode of Lower Decks in front of my videos. So how many people saw my video after watching Lower Decks and said, oh yeah, this is kind of a terrible Star Trek show. I'm not going to sign up for CBS because of that. So that's why you have a lot of that. And you also, well, before they disabled the comments, you had the numbers on Lower Decks, which were very, very low engagement, like a few thousand versus a few 100,000 views. So nobody was actually bothering. They were just watching the ad and skipping it. Just long enough so it showed up as a view. And that's what happened with Lower Decks for the pilot episode on YouTube anyway. No one at CBS was betting on that free episode bringing in so few viewers from the free episode to CBS All Access. Oh, I was, especially after I saw it before it was free. Estimates were way off, with the numbers suggesting true Star Trek fans were sampling the show then moving on. While I can't be sure, I'm hearing from the higher offices that the Lower Decks reset, as it's being called, is not working. And heads will roll soon. Secret Hideout and Bad Robot will likely be ousted after the third financial quarter ends, so sometime shortly after September 30th. And I will celebrate and applaud if Secret Hideout gets ousted. But here's why I don't see that happening. Because Alex Kurtzman has his tendrils and everything. There is another part to this where we didn't hear anything about Alex Kurtzman's name at all coming down the pipeline when they decided to bring in Emma Watts to reevaluate the brand. You know, the big head honcho over there. Can I still use that term? Because that was always an okay term. But then I'm like, now that I hear it, it might not be okay. You guys are just going to have to cancel me for it. I'm not betting on this to be true. I kind of think that maybe this sounds a little too good to be true, and I'm going to reach for that cupcake and get zapped, just like Bart Simpson. So, I'm going to say, this is my information. What do you guys think about it? I'm going to call, I can't prove any of this right now, but hey, I'm hopeful that this will happen, right? If not, I guess you can go ahead and cancel me. I am Mecha Random 42, and now enjoy the rest of the Star Trek video. Star Trek has turned into something that is just absolutely not what we signed up for. Like, I show up and I want Star Trek. I don't want Rick and Morty. I don't want a bunch of references. I don't want a bunch of member berries. I don't want a bunch of garbage that Star Trek has turned into now. I want something intelligent. I want something that doesn't insult my intelligence. And modern day Star Trek insults my intelligence. And you know who else insults my intelligence? People who release these fake rumors just to try and what? Get me to name their channel on the air? I'm not going to do it. I am going to call them out as BS. And I'm going to call this article out as sort of BS right now because there's a couple of contradicting things here. So anybody who's planting and placing any rumor one way or another just so that I make a video of it and doesn't realize that when I say it's a rumor, that means it's a rumor, and thinks that them lying is actually going to, I don't know, hurt me. No, it only hurts them, and it only makes them confirmed liars because they're placing that information out there. So I will say, total grain of salt with this one, and I said it was kind of BS when I saw this article anyway, because I don't know the site, and I don't know the people making this site. This is just some random site. Star Trek 4 is canceled. Paramount is no longer making Star Trek movies. Well, here's the thing. They have been taking a step back. They have been reevaluating. You have Emma Watts on board, right? You have all this stuff. These movies were not really set in stone anyway. They're just talks. They're just fluff. These are movies that they have in the work. There's many stages of development in Hollywood, and if they're in the very early stages, yeah, they could always be canceled, especially when you don't have your stars coming back, especially when you don't have any idea what you're doing, especially when your brand is so damaged due to poor management that you can't really turn a profit on these. And these movies don't turn a profit. They pretty much break even, which is not good enough if you do Hollywood math. They don't make enough money to justify the expense, especially in this day and age. There is no reason to think that these movies are going forward anytime soon. But with this clickbait headline, with this type of clickbait headline, I do have to address the fact that just because nothing is set in stone right now doesn't mean that they could come back in a week and say something different. And you know what? Screen Rant has said something different after that article, because Screen Rant has, I guess, the connections to Paramount. They know the people to ask and talk to. So according to Screen Rant and Paramount, Star Trek 4 and the other Star Trek movies are not canceled, but they should be. We don't want them. They're not good quality films that anybody... I don't even remember the third Star Trek JJ movie because I even saw it. I had to be reminded that I saw it when I finally watched the Everything That's Wrong with Star Trek... What was it? It wasn't Into Darkness. What's the name of it? Beyond. Star Trek Beyond. It's so immemorable. I don't even remember the name of the movie. It is so immemorable. Nothing happened in these. Nothing happens in these movies. They are just action, scene, beat. They're a bunch of nothing. They're just CGI on screen. Who cares about these movies? Nobody does. They're just there to fill an arena in a movie theater at night on a Friday night, the opening weekend. That's all these movies are any good for. They're just a popcorn movie that you go in and you see it opening night and then you forget about it. Because why? Because everybody's going to be reviewing it. Every spoiler is going to leak. Everything under the sun is going to happen. Even though in the 80s we knew exactly what was going to happen in movies. The trailer flat out told you what was going to happen in the movie. And you went and saw it because you looked like you would enjoy the movie. And that's why 9 times out of 10, I can usually judge if a movie's going to be good based on the trailer, because they tell you enough of what you need to know. And I've seen enough movies in my day, I'm a lot older than I look, that I know exactly what I'm getting from a lot of these trailers and these movies. The fact that they're running this right now means that they're trying to make Star Trek look better than it is to any investor who might take Screen Rant more seriously than they do, what's this one, Giant Freaking Robot, the website, right? They're trying to make it more profitable, make it seem more profitable than it actually is. Star Trek 4 and other Star Trek movies are not canceled, says Paramount. Paramount Pictures shuts down rumors about canceling Star Trek 4 and all movie plans, and focusing on Star Trek TV properties for the time being. Update. Paramount confirms with us that this is not true, and Star Trek movies are still in development. The original article follows. Star Trek 4 is rumored to be canceled, with no more movies in development. You know what? Here's the thing, though. Just because it's not canceled doesn't mean they're working on it. At all. It now seems hopes of another Star Trek big screen reboot have themselves gone by the wayside potentially. The website Giant Freaking Robot, which first broke the news of the Trek series Strange New Worlds, now says that Paramount has nixed Noah Hawley's Star Trek and indeed will no longer be in the business of making any of the proposed in-development Trek movies. The site's source says that Paramount has decided to focus on Star Trek properties for TV. Though, if one of those TV shows were to break out in popularity, the studio could consider spinning it into a movie. We have reached out to Paramount for comment and will update accordingly. It's also worth mentioning that Star Trek 4 was already reportedly canceled once, only to be taken out of mothballs and put it back in the pipeline. Yeah, see, they can cancel these at a moment's notice. Like I said, right now, due to the beer bug, due to all the stuff that's going on in the world, right now, they really can't be producing anything anyway. Nobody can really film that much. Right now, nobody's going to take that big of a risk on something like Star Trek, especially now, especially when it's so divided, especially now when Lower Decks is so bad, people don't even want to watch reviews of it. That's how bad Lower Decks is. Will Wheaton gets, 12,000 views on the Ready Room. 7,000. He was getting 7,000 views on his Lower Decks Ready Room show on CBS, or not on CBS, on YouTube. It's on YouTube here. You're gonna correct me, I'm misspeaking. You have to cancel me. Will Wheaton, the guy who played Wesley Crusher in the 80s on Star Trek The Next Generation, is only getting 7,000 views on his Ready Room about Lower Decks. Nobody cares about it. Lower Decks probably only gets 500,000 viewers in Canada, if that. That was the last reported number that I saw. And it's going lower and lower and lower, because who cares about Lower Decks? Who cares about this modern day Star Trek anymore? I do. I care that they're going to ruin it so bad that we never get good Star Trek. That they don't know when to just quit and stop for a while. And that is kind of the point of this rant, is that I need them to realize that a lot of us diehard Star Trek fans, and I get to speak for a lot of us because I do have a platform here, is that we get to tell you, no, we want it to go away for a while. We don't want bad Star Trek. We'd rather have no Star Trek and memories of good Star Trek than to have you guys keep coming in and making it worse and worse and worse. You're like that little old lady who repainted that Jesus picture. You're making it worse. You're just making it worse. You keep making it worse and worse and worse. And no matter what you do, you're like, oh, well, we'll fix this. You don't like Discovery and the canon's bad, so we're going to fling them into the future. Why? They already defeated Control. You don't need to fling them into the future. Well, shut up. That's why. No, that's not a good enough reason. I watched the show. I saw the final edited product. If you guys didn't, that's not my fault. If you guys didn't know what you made. And the fact that all of us here are saying, no, we don't need any more of this anytime soon, you're not going to lose us if you stop right now. We'll come back when you're ready for us to come back, when you get some competent people. But if you keep going in this message that we're not wanted because we're not in the clique, we're not in the cult, we're not in this, I hate using the word, the alt-left wackadoo hate mob. Because you know why I use that word? Because anytime you disagree with these people, they bring in politics, whether it's relevant or not, and they label you as a supporter of a certain party. That's what happens. They come in and they label you. That's why I call them that. Because if you're not in their cult and you're not on their team, then you are this political affiliation, you are this ist, you are this phobe, you are these bad things. If you just disagree with what they're putting on screen. And the world does not need to be listening to this small vocal minority of people who want this garbage. Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to lose us. If you did Star Trek right, you would have millions of viewers every week. But they don't. Star Trek is one of those brands that had they continued it and made it better, they could have brought in a new audience, but they're not doing that. They're just making it this lowest common denominator garbage that is so dated and so of today. That is just disgusting. I think I've ranted long enough. So yes, long story short, just because they're not officially canceled doesn't mean they're actually doing anything other than having them on the shelf. Oh yeah, it's right here. I have it ready to go. It's like I have my tea, but it doesn't mean I'm drinking it. And that's what they have. They have something in the computer. They have it in a file. It doesn't mean they're actually ever going to do anything other than just let it sit there and collect dust. And I think it should collect dust. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!